Okay, so um, we're getting started here. We'll go over lunches. Lunch is just snacks, effectively today. Just some pizza and egg rolls. Um, saw those at the Walgreens when I was running an errand. I'm like, you know what? I'll try them, and let's give them a try. Hmm. Ah, still, but very tasty. No, you fruff. I have Morocco begging at my feet here. No, calm down. Calm down. Calm your fruff. Get Nate and Andy in here. But topic. Oh, there's Andy. How's it going, Andy? I couldn't hear you. What'd you say?
Fine. How about you?
Pretty good. Uh, today's
I said,
lunch, as I
fine. How about you?
introduced it, is just snacks, just pizza and some egg rolls. Do you like egg rolls?
Okay.
You don't like egg rolls?
Not particularly. Nah, but I'm a pretty picky person when it comes to foods I eat. So,
All right.
uh,
Um.
don't
Well,
take
at
that
any
as
rate, when
much.
Nate gets here, the topic of discussion is immortality. Um, would you want it if you were given it?
Hmm.
I mean, me personally, I don't think so because
I don't
nobody,
know.
I think, is meant to live forever. Because that honestly, that sounds miserable. If you were given immortality and you just never die, like eventually it just takes the heat death of the universe for your existence to end, and that again just sounds incredibly miserable. You know, um, just really
Hmm.
think about this: if you're immortal and you live to see enough technological advancements to where you can just eventually you'll just be drifting into space, into nothingness after everyone you know has died, and everyone, the children and grandchildren of everyone you've known has died. You basically just don't relate to anybody except maybe other immortals if they're around. It just again, it doesn't sound very pleasant. I mean,
Hmm.
the idea of ending
Yeah.
your existence stopping, admittedly, is kind of a scary thought because you don't know what comes next. You can have faith in something, but ultimately, at the end of the day, you don't know for sure. You know. Um. So that's what makes any kind of immortality a bit scary. Um. And it's having that sort of sanguineness about the nature of your eventual demise that you kind of have to eventually come to terms with in life. You have to just learn to be okay with whatever happens next. It sucks, but it's true. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I mean,
Yeah, I guess.
do you ever get scared of death?
Um.
You used to, but you
I
don't
used
anymore.
to.
But
Yeah. Not anymore. No.
oh, there's Nate. Nate, you there? Hey, hello. Nate.
Yeah. Yes, good.
There you
I
are.
had to disconnect and reconnect my microphone as usual.
All right. Take us away,
Okay.
Nate.
uh, hello YouTube. Welcome to the Idiots Podcast episode 37.
Yep.
I am hungry, very hungry. I have
I
food
am
now.
too, which is why I'm eating my lunch. This is why this
Yes.
is the luncheon.
This is why I am eating my dinner because time zones. Damn.
Um, so we were diving into the topic, Nate, and more or less the fear of dying and or the lack of continuance is sort of the
Mm-hmm.
scary thought. Just your existence ending.
Yeah.
You know, your last thoughts ebbing away, and the fear of if there is no afterlife, nothing after. Like, what are you scared of death at all, or have you come to just
Me?
embrace it when it
No.
comes? No.
I'm not scared of death at all because, like, I believe in an afterlife and all that, so that is like, how do you say it? Yeah, I don't have like a thingy, but like one thing that I like, which comes to like, as I called it, like I guess artificial immortality or something, is like, I want like, there to be something left of me that's like, grabbable.
I suppose.
So yeah, so well, I mean, like, not like of me, like of my body. Even though if they, for example, like, cast my skeleton in a diamond or something, that would be nice too.
So what? You want to donate your body to science?
No, again, like cast me in a diamond, so like, so my skeleton, like, doesn't like, deteriorate or just like, I don't know, fossilize me. I just like, it's more like, I want there to be something like, that people will know was like made by me and like that will last long time and like oh hey, that was Nate and they were this kind of person.
Me and Lady Stone are thinking about becoming trees. And when that day comes,
Yeah,
we're
I've also thought about the tree funeral. It sounds nice.
so basically the topic today is immortality and like when death eventually comes, and we talked about becoming trees.
Like ashes mixed with a paste that they put around roots and let my body grow into a tree.
Yeah. Or I think
Mhm.
it's mixed with like the soil for the sapling, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that would be nice too. And especially like if it were a fruiting tree, even though I don't know if that's like safe, but probably I don't know. But
If I
yeah,
were a
it
fruit
would be
tree,
nice.
I'd want to be a peach tree and have one of those peaches look like a butt, so people can literally eat my ass.
Hmm. I would just go for an apple tree.
An apple tree.
Hmm. Yeah, the classic.
What kind of tree do you want, my love?
Hello or crepe myrtle.
Sleeping willow or crepe myrtle?
I have
For
no
me,
idea what that is.
peach tree for the comedy. Again, because peaches look like butts.
Mm-hmm.
Or an ash tree. Because that's
Ash tree? Alright,
yes.
I'll have to look up what's that and check.
An ash tree is like the typical
Fraxinos? I
Scandinavian
see.
tree.
Yes, son! Oh, I see.
Yep. Perhaps one day I can be made into a bow and arrow.
Maybe.
Mhm.
Do you want me to make sure of that?
Yes.
Okay.
How about you, Andy? If you
Oh.
were to be buried and you were to do a tree funeral, what kind of tree would you want to be? So basically, tree
I have
funerals
no
are
idea what you're
where they
talking
take
about.
either your ashes or your remains and sort of mix them with the soil for like a sapling, and that
Like, it's a pod.
or a pod. Yeah, basically it's a pod under the soil, and so basically the tree uses you as fertilizer. And so eventually the idea is that you kind of spiritually become one with that tree. So if you were to have that kind of funeral, what kind of tree would you want?
I don't know anything about
Okay.
trees, so I wouldn't be
All
able to
right.
give an
Well,
answer to that.
At least that's an honest answer.
Mm-hmm.
Or would you rather be cremated or just thrown into a hole?
Yeah, I mean, like, the funny part is, like, on Always Sunny in Philadelphia, Danny DeVito's character, he's just like, when I die, just toss me in a hole in the ground. It's like, that is just phenomenal levels of not giving a fuck.
Let me rot.
Mm-hmm.
Where basically they go out to a plot of land and just dig a hole deep enough and throw you in there.
Yeah?
You just become fertilizer for that land.
Yeah, basically.
Mm.
That's definitely a cheap way to do it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess.
Oh, shush. Sorry, Morocco was begging. But,
course.
sorry, wrong pipe.
Wow.
Hmm?
You okay?
What the
Yeah.
hey?
Sorry. Hang on.
Here we hear a live footage of Stonestream dying. Rip rip.
Oh,
Seems like that bow and arrow dream will come sooner than thought.
I'm fine. I'm fine.
Are
I
you
just inhaled a
sure?
crumb down the wrong pipe. Oh, that's all.
A cramp. A
Mhm.
cramp cost all that. Wow.
Uh-huh.
Baby. True baby.
Because I inhaled and it, like, literally went right down the pipe, and it's like, ouch.
Hmm. Still baby.
Jeez. But I guess back to the topic of immortality, more or less. One of my favorite properties that you guys know, God of War. Baldur, as we know, was the Norse god of light and peace, and he was given immortality. And in God of War, he wanted to die because obviously he was robbed of his senses, was not able to taste, touch, or smell anything for 100 years. I think anybody would want to die after that. So it does kind of show that, I mean, I think ultimately any kind of immortality, no matter what it is, comes at a price. Even if we were to do, say, Black Mirror. Have you guys watched Black Mirror at all?
A few episodes.
A few episodes. Andy, have you seen any of that?
It's like a
So-
Never heard
mindfuck
of it.
show.
Yeah, the basic concept is like everybody's brain has been implanted in this sort of artificial afterlife. Like literally, your consciousness is boiled down digitally and put into basically this matrix. And you can basically never die, but a lot of really freaky stuff happens.
Mm-hmm.
But technically it's not even really an actual afterlife, it's just continuance. It is a form of immortality, and it's kind of freaky.
Mm.
The
The characters though still do feel pain, right? And shit.
What'd you say?
Like the characters there still do feel pain and shit, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Again, effectively, it's designed to stimulate the senses, similar to the Matrix.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it is really, really freaky, and it's not something I would want. I think eventually, the mind just kind of wants to stop at some point. Eventually, our lives just need to come to a halt and rest.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, like there's this one episode of Scrubs. Now I know not everybody likes Scrubs. But there's this episode. Oh, hold on. Oh, yeah, that's weird. I went into screensaver mode. My screen went dark, apparently. Apparently, I'm not moving my mouse enough.
Lol.
So, in this episode of Scrubs, Zach Braff's character, he has a patient who is this like 90-year-old woman, but she's in otherwise really great health, and she contracts cancer, but she's at a stage where and a level of health to where if she were to get treatment, she could fight it. She'd pull through, and she doesn't want to, and this kind of baffles him. He's like, "But you know, you can get treatment. You're healthy enough to where you could pull through this. You could fight this." And she's like, "Nah, I don't feel like it." And so finally, he asks her why she wants to do this, and just let herself die. And she's like, "I'm 90 years old. I have 10 grandchildren. I have been like half the countries across this planet. I have done so much in my life. I'm checked out. I'm good."
Satisfied.
Yeah, just satisfied. Yeah, she's just satisfied with the life she has led. She's like, "Ed, realistically, if I were to get treatment, what happens? Because I'm old as fuck. So if I pull through this, I got what? Another 5 years of misery after that?" She's like, "Yeah, no thank you."
Understandable.
Yeah. So it's like, another thing is, if you do... Yeah, what is that? Andy, is someone getting murdered over there? Yeah, there was this screaming. I'm like, is someone getting murdered over there?
Yeah.
What is that thing?
What the fuck?
I don't know. Are you
Someone
watching
getting murdered.
something,
I
Andy?
hope
Or
not.
What is that?
probably.
Say again?
There are
There's a
noises
scream in the
coming from
What are
your
you talking about?
side.
Yeah.
Are you watching something? Okay.
All right.
No, I'm not watching
That a
anything.
lot
It's
like
probably coming from
human
outside.
screams, man.
Yeah, people
All
are
right.
dumb. You know how it is.
So,
yeah.
Nate, what are some of your sort of fictional examples when it comes to immortality that you look at?
I mean, fictional.
Mhm.
Well, I wanna bring up like the one type of immortality that my friend described. That is like, I guess I know I hinted it in the secret chat, but like a total and like absolute like like nothing, like everything just stops, but continues at the same time. I mean you don't go hungry anymore, you go thirsty anymore, and and nothing can't kill anything anymore. But yeah, I mean again you don't need to eat, you don't need to eat, you aren't affected by the physical side of anything, so you could just continue on and without ever having to bite in to tear off an apple off a tree or something, or hacking deck a sheep or something. I don't know if that is the word, but yeah.
I guess
And it's interesting, and it's probably the most ideal type of immortality that I could think about. However, if it encompasses everything that's that's unchanging, even the non-living matter, then there would be a problem. Because if the matter isn't changing, then we wouldn't be around even. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd just be
And like,
rock.
again, if it's like what? Not rock. There'd just be like, the primary atoms that like well, not even atoms, just primarily particles, like, right after the Big Bang. It would just be that, nothing else. Because
Yeah.
again, like, they would be unchanged and unchangeable. So yeah.
Yeah, there'd just be nothing. You know?
Well, no, that's not nothing. It's particles, but like,
Well, it's
they
it's something
they
without
aren't doing
change, which
anything.
is
They're just existing.
yeah. But that's the same time.
Yeah.
If there is something without change, then is that effectively anything at all? That's a philosophical question for
I
you.
mean, yes, because like, it's still like, you can still touch it and see it and stuff.
I guess.
Again,
I mean,
again,
you
like, you have a thing, even though that thing isn't changing. It's still a thing. It is something.
you know, and then on top of this,
So
like, you have to think about like perception of time because I watched this Vsauce a while back, and in it,
him.
the dude talks about perception of time, and why like a 15-minute timeout when you were like 5 felt like an eternity.
Mhm.
And it's because time was a bigger part of your life back then. Like when you have to wait till next Christmas when you were 5, you're like, oh my god, that's forever.
Yeah.
Because again, a year when you're 5 is literally a fifth of your life.
Mhm.
So that's a long ass time for you. And then, when you're our age, like freaking hours pass by like minutes. And it's like,
Yeah. Almost
yeah, like
hours.
time just flies the
I
fuck
mean,
by, and you're like,
for me, years have gotten like a bit like, faster, quote unquote, but like weeks, those blaze by like nothing.
yeah,
I'm like,
you know,
it's already Sunday.
yeah. I
I'm
go
like,
in,
what?
I go in Monday at work. I blink, and it's like Friday already.
Mm.
You know,
Yeah, it's stupid.
it's crazy. I mean, if there were a way to slow down our perception of time, I'd take that in like a heartbeat.
I
You
think
know,
you could, obviously, with some mental training and stuff, but yeah, again, you would have to actively try.
you wouldn't take that?
It's not.
No. Why wouldn't you take
What?
that? Laystone says she wouldn't take that.
Hmm. I mean, it's their choice, and like, it's.
So why wouldn't you take it, my love?
Well, for me, as you say, with kids, it's longer and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, throughout my childhood, I was basically tortured. So it was
Yeah.
lifetimes for me,
Yeah.
waiting and wondering.
Yeah.
And there's times where I've been on the brink of death, praying just to stop. If I could just fall asleep and not wake up. That's how it was for me. So when someone says, hey, I can give you the ability to basically slow down your time, and it'd be like, I don't want that again. Because it seemed like forever just to get to the next day.
Yeah.
And I'm good. I'm really good. I like the fact that, I can go, okay, we're halfway done through the day. Let's get this over with.
What I would like, though, if not that, then perhaps the ability to skip a night or two of sleep without consequences.
And again, that comes with the like, the total, absolute, perfect immortality shit.
Oh, you wouldn't have to sleep either.
No, because again, it wouldn't like, biologically affect you.
Oh, true, yeah.
And I think that, well, either I brought it up or she brought it up, that like, you once you were like, for example, I mean, this type of immortality would be like, perfect if you were like, want to take on a massive fucking big ass project, or
Mhm.
several even, I don't know, just do shit. and then you would just be like, well, okay, I'm done, and then you would just like, die on the spot, just
Oh,
like
you
that.
just so
When
effectively
when
immortality
when
you
you
can
would want to, yeah,
turn off at any
yeah,
time you want.
yeah.
I mean, oddly, that's kind of like Baldur's immortality, where his weakness was mistletoe, where he just could he didn't know it because Freya refused to tell him, but slashes himself with mistletoe, and he's mortal again.
Think.
But of course, he found that out by accident because, oddly, of a broken bow quiver strap. Oddly,
Oh. Hmm.
Yep.
I had no idea mistletoes are used there.
What'd you say?
I had no idea that mistletoes are used there.
Well, they were mistletoe arrows, and what happened?
Oh,
Yeah, what
I
happened
see.
was Atreus's quiver strap was loose, and Kratos is just like, we can't have faulty equipment, so he takes one of the mistletoe arrows that Atreus still had, broke off the tip, and then kind of jerry-rigged a tighter strap out of it, and pinned it, basically, yeah. And so, later in the game, when Baldur punches Atreus, his hand gets impaled on the arrow.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I see.
And it showed you how fucked up Baldur was. Again, he's a grown-ass man willing to punch a 12-year-old as hard as he can.
Valid. As a
Yeah, he was-
person who has to deal
Yeah.
with all kinds of ages of people, valid. Punch that 12-year-old with all your might. Do it.
I mean, it's one thing to, like, wrestle like your 12-year-old cousin playfully. It's another thing to frickin' haul up and whale him in the face or in the stomach as hard as you can.
Eh,
I'm a cousin.
again, I
Yeah.
can excuse that.
If Nate was my cousin, I'd wail.
You wail on Nate.
I don't know what that means. And how it's spelled even. Is it like whale like the animal or whale like the sound?
Like the
Or
sound.
something else.
W-A-I-L,
Okay.
whale.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And what does it mean?
It means to beat and thrash and, like, punch.
I see.
Yep. But yeah, like, that kind of immortality, even the kind you turn off, might have some consequences, you know?
I mean, well, again, with the everything being affected by it, there wouldn't be really.
So, again, you could go without sleep and not lose your mind.
Yeah.
Intriguing. Um, it's definitely a big think, you know?
Mhm. Well, and actually, now I wanted to say, oh, but wait, mold would be a problem, but then it wouldn't, because again, we would just not care. And again,
Right.
again, temperatures won't affect us either. So and no fuck freaking
Yep.
thing. So I don't know. You just could take your sleeping bag fucking anywhere and just like plop. You wouldn't
Again,
need a house.
Baldur, dude walks barefoot through the snow and, just walks through, freezing cold water like it ain't no thing.
Hmm.
He was more pissed off at, Kratos and Atreus than he was bothered by any of that.
Ew, it's kind of
Yeah. Yeah, when the only thing you can feel is your anger,
Hmm.
just your anger. My poor baby.
like my hate and my despair. It's like what kept me alive at times. When I was sitting there in the dark, just like thinking of ways that I could just torment my tormentors.
Yeah.
where I could just get back at them, even in the slightest way.
Yeah.
And the stubbornness I had, that's what kept me going. It was super hard to let go of all this hate, especially when you would try to get me to let go. It's like leave me alone. Hate is all I have at this time. Just let me hate. That's all I have.
Mm-hmm.
Now I don't have that hate anymore.
Yeah.
But I found other things to help cope.
Like me and our boy.
And other instability, especially like doing a job that I really enjoy. Because then it's like now it's like mortality is not so bad, not one to be immortal, to outlive everybody and to watch the world change is no longer needed, no longer a wow, what if for me.
Yeah.
It's more of a if somebody told me I could live forever, I'd be like, no thanks.
Yeah.
Perfectly happy right now.
Mm-hmm. But I guess we'll start wrapping it up with that. I guess my closing thoughts are that, immortality is kind of an interesting idea, but I ultimately think most people wouldn't want it, even if they could, like, theoretically turn it off. Like I said, say with, Baldur's weakness to mistletoe.
I think it would be more like 50-50 probably, because I mean, like, we are still, like, actively researching like ways to
Lengthen
prolong
lifespan,
our
for
life
sure. I mean,
and
like,
stuff.
if you have like a cancer that affects an organ, I mean, and you can just take the organ out and get an artificial one placed in, that's gonna extend lifespans, for sure. Like, we've implanted artificial hearts and everything. Honestly, that might be more reliable than our regular hearts.
Mm-hmm. Actually, I think that when we, like, obviously that's just a small portion of people, but when I was, like, in the English class, and we, like, ask, like, if you would want to be immortal, like, would you want to be? And, like, majority of the class said yes. So
Really? That's an.
Yeah.
I think maybe it's because it could be a youth thing. I haven't seen everything yet. I mean, ask people who in the retirement home. That's where you need to ask if they want to keep living. I guarantee you, 90% of them will say no.
Mm-hmm.
But Andy, your closing thoughts on the subject of immortality
My
and
closing
death?
thoughts are, I'm hmm. I don't really have any
Okay,
closing thoughts
what's your
on
closing
that,
thought on
but I do
something
have some
else?
closing thoughts on something else.
Oh my god.
I was gonna say I want some
Wow.
pussy.
Horny bonk.
Yep. Well, actually,
What?
to a topic you do know. I guess since I posted this meme on YouTube on my community tab, that for Zatch Bell fans, we know Dr. Riddles died recently. Rip Dr. Riddles. Well, I mean, at the end of the day,
that
he
was
did say
messed
he had a
up.
heart condition and that he only had a month left anyway. But he did go out, like a badass, and on top of this, he gave someone mental freedom. He gave Blue mental freedom, and that's to that be your dying act is still manifold. Just speaks to his character, Yeah, it's just amazing. But we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Nate, go ahead and close us out.
So, goodbye, YouTube. This has been the Idiots Podcast. It has been lovely.
Yes.
See you
And,
next time.
That's
Debs.
how the Idiots podcast.
That's just what we've been calling it.
Yeah.
But also,
We are all dummies here. In one way or another.
And at the end of the day, yeah, it's the ultimate idea of one thing I do know is that I know nothing. But we'll do Resident Evil Revelations this afternoon, so I'll go ahead and stop Craigbot. But catch you guys this afternoon.
And you know what I want.
Yes, I will get you your posties. Don't worry.